Okay guys, so I've got my mugs here and they're both firmed up. The bodies are cleaned up. I can always do a little bit more, but right now I really want to get this assembled before these firm up too much more. So they're a really perfect leather hard. I pulled my handles, I let them firm up a little bit more too, and they're doing good. So I'm gonna go get these on. I'm gonna go ahead and get these on my mug now. So now I need to figure out, now that they've firmed up, I need to figure out where I want them to go and at which angle I want them to go. This one, because it's a big mug, I'm probably going to put the top of the handle a little bit higher so it's easier to hold. And I'm going to cut it as close as I can to the back of the handle. I'm going to cut the bottom and the top as much off as I can so that my hand isn't real far away from the body of the cup, but it's a little bit tighter, which will make it a little more comfortable to hold. Okay, so I know that I'm going to cut this one as much back as I can, but I want my fingers to still be able to comfortably fit inside here when I hold the mug. So I'm going to cut a little bit off the top and a little bit off the bottom. One other thing to consider on this mug, my wall is straight up and down. So my cuts can be flush. Sometimes the curve might be a little bit different, and so you got to kind of angle your cuts differently, but this one should be pretty straightforward. So I'm just going to cut that. Actually, I might save these bits because sometimes those can be fun to do something with. So now I've got this cut. Now I want to figure out where I want this to go on my mug. This handle is maybe a little bit too thin for this body, but I'm going to do it anyways, just for today. So I want this to go a little bit higher up here. So that looks good to me. So I'm going to mark basically where this attaches. So those are the attachment points here and in here. And now I'm going to take my serrated rib and I'm going to score this all up. Then I'm going to take a little bit of water, put some drips in there. So that's ready to go. And now I'll do the same here. I'm going to score this up. Actually, I probably don't need to add any. This clay is a little soft on this handle. And I put a lot of water on that joint, this connection on here. So we'll just put these together. So I don't want to mash this up too much as I put it on, but I want to push these together pretty good. So a lot of times I kind of start back and I slide forward instead of digging in at that joint and making that look all unsightly. I can get my fingers wet with a little bit of water, kind of go around that joint, making that real clean. Clean, clean, clean. And on this one, because it's such a big handle, what I might do is put a little thumb grip on it. So I'm going to take this little piece of extra something right here and figure out where I want that to go on here. So maybe I'll put a little grip right there. That'll be good. In part, I'm doing this because this handle, the coil is a little bit thin. So in part, I'm doing it because this will give it even a little bit more visual weight and kind of help balance out the thinness of the handle. That looks pretty good. So now, the last thing that I do is once I've got this attached, before we attached this handle, we went around and we cleaned up the whole body, made sure the body was pretty much done. Now I want to clean up this handle and make this done. So I'm going to go around. One of my favorite tools to use for this is a dried out pen, like a ballpoint pen or a pencil, but pens I really love. So I like to go around all these connections and just kind of edge these out a little bit. Sometimes I'll get a little piece of clay to just roll that tip in to get the clay off of there as I go. So I'm kind of cleaning this. So going around all these joints. One of the things that I like about doing this is that we know that glaze turns to a liquid. And so when I edge these out like this, there's a little channel down in there. And so the glaze can kind of pool inside there, and it just enhances that joint a little bit, which I think is a real nice, subtle touch. People probably don't even notice, but I like it. And then the last thing I do, once everything's cleaned up, is I love these soft bristle brushes. So I go over as much as I can with this, all those joints that I just edged, and I just smooth those out. Any little boogers or whatever's on there. Just makes it real nice. And there we go. Nice little mug with a handle and a thumb grip.